Representative Bowman, whatever his last name is. He's a moron. That's point. I do not want to discuss this because this don't make no sense. No, make it make sense. Why though? This dumb is gonna pull a fire alarm thinking that it's gonna. Bro, you walk through this office building every day. You know what the fire alarm look like. I don't want to hear that. Oh my! Like you got. I wish you had that button right now. You got a motherfucking from New York can't read. Don't know red means fire alarm. Like you seen it says don't pull or pull in case of emergency. There was no emergency. Like got me up.
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Bronxexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Well, of course, Dolomite, we are for real. Welcome to another installment of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that duo, Cole Johnson. The other half will join me in the hour number 2 portion of this program. Of course, that is the illustrious, the incomparable Snowman. And also joining us in hour number 2 will be Cool McCain and Coach Dante in the Cool and Coach Hour. Yes, it is a wonderful segment that we have grown to love very quickly over these past few weeks, almost about a month plus. And yes, if you want sports talk raw and insightful and intelligent, hour number 2 for sure. But of course, you can tune in to this show every single minute and get the same thing. Let's go to the whip around. Deion Sanders, you might know him now. Yeah, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Now he is the head football coach of Colorado. He ripped the 8 p.m. local time kickoff set for ESPN for his next game tomorrow night against Stanford. Basically saying thank God that his team is soon leaving the Pac-12 and its many later game start times in the West. Sanders says that the 8 p.m. kickoff let me see if I can put it in a wonderful way that he did. Quote, the dumbest thing ever. close quote, and, quote, the stupidest thing ever invented in life, close quote. Well, the stupidest thing ever invented in life was having someone in the athletic department there have the brain fart to move from the Big 12 in the first place to go to the Pac-12. So have a conversation with them, Deion, and then you'll understand what is the dumbest move ever. Colorado later in the program. WNBA Finals. Game 2 last night took place in Las Vegas, and the Las Vegas Aces just simply went to work. And they did such a great job, they left their head coach Becky Hammon speechless with the Aces' domination of the Liberty. We'll talk more about this game in hour number 2. Travis Kelce only had a brief absence from the Chiefs' win over the Vikings Sunday after sustaining an ankle injury, non-contact style. But a short turnaround before his next game, the tight end finds his status a little bit shaky. Kelce figures to be one of the biggest X factors, of course, for tonight's game against the Broncos. We'll talk more about that in hour number 2 as well. They currently carry a 15-game winning streak over their AFC West rival, which is one of the longest streaks ever held in NFL history from one team dominating another. But we'll talk about his injury, we'll talk about the game itself, and we might even talk about the moronic understanding that is Sean Payton in hour number 2 as well. Goodness gracious. Charlotte Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office says that it has an unserved warrant for Hornets forward Miles Bridges for a violation of a domestic violence protective order, along with an unserved criminal summons for a domestic protective order violation, misdemeanor child abuse, and injury to personal property. The Sheriff's Office said to AP that the warrant was issued back in January, but it has not been served 9 months later. The criminal summons was issued yesterday. Now, according to WSOC in Charlotte, the corresponding police report indicated that the mother of Bridges' 2 children had her windshield smashed in her residence and that her protective order was violated by his parents. The alleged incident happened at her residence. Well, if all this is true, Mr. Bridges, your career is over. They also decided to waive former first-round draft pick Kai Jones just 3 days after the center forward announced on social media that he requested for a trade. Let's try this again. The Charlotte Hornets have been busy, also dealing with Miles Bridges. They also have waived their former first-round draft pick Kai Jones after their center forward announced 3 days ago on social media that he requested for a trade. Now, Jones has not been with the Hornets since training camp, and with the team citing personal reasons in a statement. The decision came after Jones displayed some bizarre behavior on social media over the past few months. which includes criticism of his teammates. The 19th overall draft pick out of Texas in 2021 appeared in 67 games over the past 2 seasons with the Hornets, averaging under 3 points in over 9 minutes per game. Looks like nobody will miss you, sir. Ouch. Finally, Steve Garvey. You may know the guy. He was a former first baseman for the Padres, and then before then, he was for a longer period of time with the Dodgers. He has announced Tuesday that he is entering the race for U.S. Senate in California. He's hoping to succeed the late Senator Dianne Feinstein, who died in September. The 74-year-old Garvey is a Republican, and Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, selected LaFonza Butler, an advisor to Kamala Harris's 2020 campaign, to fill Feinstein's vacant seat, which will be occupied until next year's election. Butler has not said if she is going to run for the full 6-year term next year. Well, from the baseball community and probably from the sports community, we hope everything is great. We know that you've had some aspirations to be in public office, and now you can actually take that and run with it, Mr. Garvey. And that completes today's Whip Around. Before we take our quick break to the Finance Feedback Zone we go, Abe Pizzo says, good morning. Great show last night with you and your other 3 horsemen. And check out the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems every Wednesday night. It's every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. It is live on the A Pizzle 90 YouTube channel. You 4 do great. Him, L Muscles 28, Tiny Tim, and Steel Sermon. Wonderful crew, all 4 of you. Ryan McCarthy, No Credentials Acquired fame. He says it's being reported that Frank Clark will be released or traded from the Broncos. Yet another edge rusher the Broncos are releasing, being that Randy Gregory was one who was released last week. Yeah, a dumpster fire that is almost the level of the Bears. Oh, and what's this message, sir? Really, Cole? Really? With the background? I thought you'd like that. I thought you'd like it, Ryan. I did it specifically for you. I did. But we'll take a break, and when we come back, we will talk about 2 of the 3 DS games, the division series round games. The one between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers, and the one, basically we're going all National League. The one with the Diamondbacks and Dodgers, and the one between the Phillies and the Braves. You are watching, you are listening, and you are experiencing and understanding that Ryan McCoffey is jet race. No, I'm just joking. That you are Ed Snowman, the Morning with Cole Johnson. Will be back right after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys.
Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything.
everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Bobby J and Wise El Jefe, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
And welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. Back to the Fanatics Feedback Zone. We had Michael 3000, a new family member. We're glad that you've been here off and on. Hopefully you will be amongst the throng, amongst the A Pizzles and the Ron McCarthy's, and soon, of course, the V-Lock A3s and the Sig Diggies of the sports world. Good morning, guys. Kraft needs to fire the hoodie. Yeah, he needs to fire him definitely as a GM. But I hate to say it this way, Kraft doesn't have the balls to do it, at least right now. Because if he did, it would have happened before this year began. Because Bill Belichick, the GM, is severely handicapping Bill Belichick, the coach. And yes, he probably coached a little better having an all-time legend at QB. But he knew the sport quite well long before Tom Brady was ever in Bill Belichick's life. So, yeah, the GM is hurting the head coach, in my opinion. Ryan McCarthy says, "Look, you honor me with the Ray treatment. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And you honored me with putting that 1-800 number for Ray. That was awesome, sir. Now, here I am, a black man talking baseball. No, I know I should turn in my black card. Screw you. Anyway, the Phillies, they rode into town, splitting the series in Atlanta in their NLDS series with them. And they came within 2 innings of actually sweeping them in A-Town. But their series is 1-1. They came back. The game wasn't even in doubt after the 3-run shot that Bryce Harper hit. And that was the first of 2 homers that he crushed in a 10-2 victory for the Phillies. Now, Bryce Harper felt the pain of that game-ending base-running blunder that ended Game 2 in Atlanta. So much so that Orlando Arcia decided to light that fuse in mentioning that blunder and mocking mocking him. So it seems as though the fun that Arcia had in the blunder that Bryce Harper had in the base running in the end of Game 2 fueled him in hitting a couple of those bombs in Game 3. To the point, Arcia plays shortstop for the Braves, to the point where both times when Harper rounded second, he purposely tried to lock eyes with Arcia. But he gazed in Arcia's direction, basically saying, "And now what?" It's almost getting to the point where, yeah, we have a lot of good rivalries in baseball, but it almost seems to be now that the Braves Phillies seems to be the most intriguing of them all, at least at the moment, because, and I always say this, you meet with teams frequently in the playoffs, no matter if you barely even see them in the regular season, or if you see them a little bit in the regular season. Bad blood is going to come. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of that, especially with this series. So Harper delivered one of the greatest proven performances in recent playoff history. He hit a go-ahead home run, which was a 3-run shot. Then he added a solo shot almost to straightaway center, just this close from dead center. and he stared down his newfound nemesis all the way. Now the Phillies are up 2-1, and they're looking for more. They're chomping at the bit, I think, to do what they did last year, which was actually defeat the Braves 3-1 in the NLDS last year. They look to do the same thing this year. And I have said this to Braves fan, and Playmaker's a Braves fan, Cool's a Braves fan. And I said this out loud in May, but I said it in private circles even earlier than that. I said, it's great that the Braves are doing one of these wonderful things, and it's going to be great to see them perform what they do in April, May, June, July, August, and September. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be stupendous. It's going to be spectacular. But make no mistake, this team is now measured by what they do in October. And if you don't believe me, look at their 2021 season when they actually did do damage in October, got all the way until the end of the month, and they hoisted that World Series trophy. Now, that seemed to be an Oasis performance because they had issues getting that far, and they have had issues getting that far since this team has been constructed. I think about the Game 5 NLDS debacle in the first inning against the Cardinals. I think that was in 2019. And I remember this vividly because I was at work and I was working with another journalist who is a huge Cardinals fan. And so he asked all of us in the newsroom, do you mind if I turn on to the Braves Cardinals game? We don't give a crap. Turn it on. I mean, we're doing work, so it doesn't matter. So he turned it on to the game. And then about 45 minutes later, my coworker looked at me. And he said, are you sure you wanted to keep watching this? Because it looks like this game is over. I was like, I don't give a crap, man. I mean, it's your team. I don't really care about either squad. I mean, I'm not a Cardinals fan. I'm not a Braves fan. So it doesn't matter to me. And so he watched maybe another couple of innings, and then he turned it back to CNN. Point being, the Braves just simply got in their way and stubbed their toe every year since this team has been constructed the way it is now, for the exception of 2021. But they have had this issue, 2019 and 2022 definitely, and I'm blanking on 2020 because I think they ran up against the Dodgers. I think in the NLCS, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they had a 3-1 series lead and they blew it. So, I mean, with the Braves, it is about October. They can win 100 games. They can win the NL East. They can have MVPs. They can have stud baseball players. They can have stud arms. They can have a great manager, but it doesn't matter. It matters only to a hill of beans if they come out smaller than mini-me in these big-time moments. And for the exception of 1 year in recent memory, they have. And so that's why I have been saying for 5 months with the Braves, I don't care how many wins they get. What will they do in October? That's what they're going to be measured in doing. So far, only one win. Now, they're still alive. They're still alive. I mean, they can still pull this series out, and they can still go on and play the team that I'll talk about in a couple minutes that they'll be facing, because they of course have home field advantage against them and any other team in the playoffs because they have the best record coming into the playoffs this year. Now, to me, the Phillies are the biggest Braves kryptonite because it just seems as though the Phillies just get up for October and they use September as a launching pad. This year it was injuries. Last year it was chemistry with a little bit of injury. I remember seeing them in the World Series last year, and I said, this team, I mean, just look at the lineup. I mean, you got Schwarber, you got Turner, you got Harper. They're gonna they're going to be trouble. They're going to be trouble, and they got some arms too. They're going to be trouble for any team that gets in their way. And yeah, and they're starting pitching with Nolan Wheeler. They're going to be trouble for any team that gets in their way because they will now have the experience of getting this far in the World Series. And of course, my being an Astros fan, I'm not going to say that it's a slam dunk if the Astros made it with the Phillies again, that the Astros will win it again. Because my thought is, the Phillies are like they're the hottest squad, and I think if they get together, the Phillies have a bigger chip on their shoulder because this is the team that ended their season last year. And if you really want to be completely honest, the Astros are fat cats now. I mean, they've been the most successful team in the majors for the last 7 years. So there might come a time where you might meet up against that squad that will tell you, okay, yeah, your time at the top is up. Now, I thought it was the Braves, personally, but it isn't. That isn't the team. So I figured now it's either going to be the Phillies or the Orioles, or both. But the Phillies, they should alarm any team that is left in the playoff pool. Right now, that would be the Rangers. I'll talk about the other team as well. And then there's the Diamondbacks, because neither team has to worry about the Dodgers. Oh, poor Dodgers. But with the Braves, they still have a shot, though. They still have a shot. All they got to do is win tonight. First pitch is at 8:07 p.m. And then fly to Atlanta and then close the deal in the A on Saturday. That's all they got to do. And I would think they have to do the one thing that they have in most of this series, and that's actually have a lead, because they've only had a lead for half an inning. I mean, that's really the Phillies have led almost every single inning in this series. The only inning that I can remember in this series that the Braves have led would be the top of the ninth in Game 2, and they were at home. So, and if it weren't for that one-arm 2-run shot, home run by Austin Riley, we'd be talking about the Phillies advancing to the next round right now. But the Braves showed fight on Monday, so they're here. But now the Braves have to win tonight, and then they got to win Saturday night. And if that is possible, then we will talk about the Braves in a more positive light. Until then, we'll talk about the Braves in the realistic one, which is they fold like tents in October. I'm sorry. Another team that definitely folds like tents in October, and the same thing with them, because their oasis would be 2020, although, yes, they did get to the World Series in 2017, but 2020, they did win it. That would be the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, they came in 100 wins. They were bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and they were promising that this was going to be a different day and a new day, that they were going to come back. They were going to be invigorated, and they were looking forward to possibly meeting up with the Phillies or Braves in the NLCS. Well, they'll be looking forward to seeing one of those teams on TV, because they will go home once again early. And why is this 100-win team going home early? The third in this playoff, by the way. The fourth might be tonight. And it's because they lost to the Diamondbacks by a score of 4-2. Now, the Dodgers, when the series was in Chavez Ravine, they simply were knocked to the canvas in the first inning, the top of the first inning, and they would not get up. They were incapable of getting up off of the canvas. Well, they held their own in the first inning in last night's game, but it was the third inning that did them in. And thank you, Mr. Lynn. He will now be the answer to the trivia question, Lance Lynn I'm talking about. Who is the first pitcher to give up not one, not two, not three, but 4 home runs in a postseason inning? Yes, the answer now will be Lance Lynn, because for the first time ever, the Diamondbacks made history by being the first team in Major League Baseball history to hit 4 home runs in a single postseason inning. All of them, of course, were solo shots. And you now have to also thank Marte, Walker, Moreno. Excuse me. Good Lord, I'm blanking on the fourth now. Oh, and Perdomo, who started it all. I forget. Yeah, the guy who only hit 1 home run the whole year and didn't have a hit in the whole series thus in the playoffs, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He got one then. So the Diamondbacks had their 4 in the third, and those 4 runs stood up. Now, the Dodgers did score 2 runs in the 7th inning, but it was, what's the phrase? It was we too little, way too late. The Diamondbacks now advance on, and they made a splash in this playoffs, obviously. And they made a huge splash, just like the Rangers in the American League. The Diamondbacks in the National League have swept the Brewers, and then they swept the Dodgers. Now, unlike the Rangers, unlike the Diamondbacks, the Rangers swept not 1, but 2 100 and 100 plus winning franchises in the season. Diamondbacks only did 1, but they did, unlike the Rangers, sweep 2 division champions. So you have the Diamondbacks, who seem to have caught on a different wavelength, and now they are awaiting who is going to come out of Philly, or if Atlanta actually wins tonight, who will come out of Atlanta on Saturday. The team that is the team that is going to have to face the Diamondbacks in the NLCS. Now, no matter who wins it, they will have home field advantage against them, because the Diamondbacks, finished with a worse record than both of them. So the Diamondbacks are looking to see if they have to travel to Atlanta or if they have to travel to South Philly. Well, let me do this again. Either they have to travel to South Philly, and more than likely it's them because they're up 2-1, or they might travel to Marietta or Cobb County in the northwestern suburbs of Atlanta. I just had to do that to my ATL peeps. My man. To the Fanatic Feedback Zone we go. V like A3 says good morning to Michael 3000, Mr. McCoffee, and the EP of all EPs, Cole Johnson. And ladies and gentlemen, we like to give him all sorts of props. He is the Ed McMahon of Snowman in the Morning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the scene. It is great to have you on board, sir. Ryan says, look, Braves fan has got to be thinking, the 90s and early 2000s all over again. We can't get over the hump in the playoffs. I would be thinking the same thing. I would be thinking the exact same thing. And it's funny. I'll be alluding to the 90s Braves in the next segment, because I would think they are starting to think that now. Now, we will take a break, and when we come back, we will talk about the third game that happened last night in the DS, in the divisional rounds, or the divisional series of Major League Baseball, the postseason 2023. We'll be back in 2 and a little bit longer after that.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Bobby J and Wise El Jefe, Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, sometimes Dr. K, he doesn't, but that's besides the point. Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that that duo. Oh, well, you see the name. There you go. And if you are hearing this, I am Cole Johnson, the other half of this duo. Snowman, he'll join us in hour number 2. Now, quickly to the Fanatic Feedback Zone we go. Another Braves fan in A Pistol 90. He says, it's all we're known for, talking about the Braves, choking in the playoffs. Yeah, and I actually feel for you guys. I really do. Oh, my man, Wise El Jefe of... Let me see if I can, because you're almost getting to be playmaker status wise. Poppy Jane Wise El Jefe, stuck in my mind mentality, because that's my brother from Mentality. And now the brand newly minted Wise in the AM. Welcome to the show, brother. Of course, I'm missing you being here with me, but I'm glad you are in the throng and in the audience, brother. And many, many prayers to you. And you know what it's about, bro. Oh, yeah. There's another game that did take place last night. And it was between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. Now, the Twins were buoyed by the Carlos Correa show in Game 2. Beating up, beating down, and beating sideways the Astros 6-2 to knock the series at 1 in the juice box, and bringing it all the way up the target for Game 3, where the Astros decided to bring out the lumber. Thank you, Bregman. Thank you, Abreu. 9-1 in that game. So the Astros took a 2-1 series lead into last night for Game 4. And this actually was a really good pitching performance both ways. It was. It was good from the standpoint of you had the Twins who they made a couple of mistakes versus the Astros who made one. Well, I should say made 2, but those 2 mistakes that they made didn't hurt as much as the 2 that the Twins made. The final score of that game was 3-2. Man, what can I say about Jose Urquidy? I mean, he looked like his stuff was just unhittable for 4 innings. It was a beautiful exhibition, and And I think he saved some of the arms that possibly was going to have to be used, because I think Dusty was probably going to be setting this up as, all right, so this might be an elimination game. It might be all arms on deck, because I want to make sure in game 5 I have either, more likely to be Verlander. I would have Verlander out there to close it out, and then I'll have Valdez, if we do advance, pitch game 1 at home against the Rangers. I'll talk about the Rangers part of this momentarily. But Urquidy, to me, I think is a huge key to this pitching staff. I think the Astros, they need to have solid pitching performances from Verlander, from Valdez, from Urquidy, and from Christian Javier. And he did a really good job in game 3. I'm sorry. If we can get that from them, I love the Astros' chances, because it means the bullpen can be what they're supposed to be, which is they see a few hitters in an inning. One arm gets them out in the 7th, one arm gets them out in the 8th, and then you got Ryan Presley who shuts the door in the 9th. That's how the formula should be. It broke down exactly the way it was supposed to be for the Astros last night. Now, of course, the hero of this game, to me, is the hero of this series, for the possible exception of Yordan Alvarez, who, until last night, was hitting the cover off the ball. And that would be one Jose Abreu. And this guy was hitting moonshots. And it was like it looked like he was playing batting practice at Target Field. He hit 2 bombs yesterday. He had 2 bombs the day before, both of them to left field, and then he hits a bomb to right center last night. And I'm thinking, doggone. Is there any pitch you can't get to and launch? Just amazing. Credit to him. 2-run homer, 2 RBI, of course. And you had the bats were pretty much silent for the most part for most of the lineup. Royce Lewis for the Twins, good job for the homer, because his bat has been hot in the playoffs. It remained hot. Nice shot in the first inning to get the party started. Julian, their DH, he hit a homer in the 6th to bring that lead down from 3-1 to 3-2. But as I said, it was a pitching performance that it harkened me back to the games that I love to watch when it comes to playoff baseball. I love to see arms step up and just show that, yes, these bats are lethal, but these arms are even more lethal because you don't know what's coming. And we can mix any of the pitches that we have and keep you off balance. To me, that is the essence of playoff baseball, because that's where you get the chess matches coming into play, where the catcher and the pitcher is trying to outguess the batter is trying to do the same, and you have the managers who are trying to do the same thing with the pitcher, catcher, and the batter. So this cat and mouse game, I think, is at its highest when it's in the playoffs. And to me, and this has nothing to do with the teams that were involved, just the play. To me, this was the best example of playoff baseball that I have seen in a game thus far this year, because we've been seeing bombs away just about every game. The closest that it wasn't that way would be the game 2 of the NLDS between the Braves and the Phillies. But this, to me, is the closest example of when I think of October baseball. This is how it looks. You got the pitching staffs that are just stepping up, keeping their teams in it, have timely defense every now and then, and you have a couple of bats show up and take advantage of that one mistake or two that the opposing pitching staff throws at you. To me, last night was the example of baseball in October. And so the Astros advanced. Congratulations to the Twins. You had a wonderful season. And I think now You all have to build off of the success of what you have. You have a good young core. I think now you have to strengthen that young core a little bit more. And I believe you need to get more starting pitching to help you out. And that bullpen, I wasn't sure about them, but I got to say, the last 3 games for sure for me that I've seen, may need to get one more arm, and I think if you can get that, I think you'll be better. But the bullpen's not that bad. I just think you're missing a couple of starting pitchers, and I think if you did that, the Twins will be even more dangerous than they are now. But congratulations on a wonderful season. Congratulations to everybody, including Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa, you said that you were the Astros killer. Well, the Astros, they are the Carlos Correa killer. See ya. Love you, brother, but see ya. Astros are now advancing onward to play the Texas Rangers, and that's going to be an all-Texas ALCS affair. And I am really looking forward to it. Now, let me see. I think the first pitch begins Sunday. I think. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, first pitch is Sunday, but we don't know what time it's going to be. More than likely, it's probably going to be the evening, I think. But yeah. Game 1 of the ALCS. Of course, it'll be between the Rangers and the Astros. It will be in Houston. Both teams with a 1972 record to end the season. But of course, the Astros, the reason why they have home field advantage is because they beat down the Rangers in the Seton series 9-4, and that was the deciding factor. That's why they won the AL West, and the Rangers went as a wild card. But hey, it doesn't matter. They both still ended up where they wanted to end up, at least to this point this year. The Rangers don't know who they're going to start. More than likely, it's going to be Verlander is going to start for the Astros. So in this series, you have a team in the Rangers that have a lot of bats and a lot of concern about how they can simply just take any pitching staff and get them off schedule. That is the problem that the Astros will face because the Rangers can throw bats at you. Seager's one, Garcia's another. I mean, they could just throw bats at you to where it's like, doggone, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how we're going to solve these guys. I don't know how we're going to get these outs because they could put up runs in bunches. And they can put up runs in bunches in different ways. That's what scares people about the Rangers. They can put up runs in bunches in different ways. Now, where you can get the Rangers, you can almost now get to them in the starting pitching realm too, but it's more the relievers. You want to get to that reliever portion because they're a little thin there, and that's their Achilles heel. And that's what the Astros have to exploit. Now, for the Astros, what they got to do is they got to continue to have the timely pitching match up with the timely hitting. For most of this year, I have seen the Astros have the timely pitching and the bats go cold. And then other times I've seen the timely hitting be there and the arms go cold. They have to marry those two 4 times in this series. They did do it 3 in the previous series. They got to do that 4 times. The timely pitching and the timely hitting has to be in full effect. And to me, I actually think the bats have to be more lively than the arms to start off. Because I think you got to put the Rangers in the mode of we're on our heels. Put doubt in their minds right away. Okay, we have to come back from this deficit. Because that's the one thing I learned in the last series that they had in Arlington, in the Globe Life Field, where it just seemed as though the Astros jumped out ahead and the Rangers just felt as though they were deflated and defeated because they had to play catch up all series long. To me, that is what the Astros have to do. Jump on them early and then have those arms say, I don't think so. But the Rangers have to actually do the same thing. They have to jump out ahead and have those arms say to the Astros lineup, I don't think so. I like the arms of the Astros doing that job a little better than the arms of the Rangers. The Rangers have the better offense. I will definitely cop to that. They have the better offense. The Astros have the better set of arms. And we're in October. I'd rather have the arms with timely hitting more so than the bats and very little on the arm side. So this is not a homer pick. This is analyst only. I see Astros. I see 6 games. I will not be shocked if it goes 7. This is going to be one of those not done drag out series. I already feel it. I already see it. And man, watch out. Watch out, because it's going to be one whale of a series. In fact, let me get some guests on to talk more about this, shall we? Yeah, I think it's time that we do that. And here to join us, as they always do, at the hour number 2 portion of Snowman in the Morning every Thursday, welcome Cool McCain and Coach Dante. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're good, man. I know I'm good.
All right.
I know I'm good, man. 7 straight ALCS. It's hard to do in any type of sport. I don't care what it is. It's hard to go 7 straight. just like my Houston Comets went 4 straight WNBA titles.
Yep.
Las Vegas Aces may be on the verge of that soon. That series will it's really gone all and over at this point. But I'm very excited.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely talk about the WNBA a little later. But I
can I make one baseball related comment real quick, sir?
Go ahead.
I have to get it off my chest. Filthy Philadelphia fans. Oh yeah, you see the Eagles in the background, but I'm talking to you filthy Phillies fans. Y'all messed up now. Y'all messed up. You gotta win. I give you that. You put us on the brink. But you did the tomahawk chop, the ultimate disrespect. You want to fire up a lineup? Disrespect them. Thank you, filthy Phillies. Thank you. You're going to fill the Wrath games 4 and 5. Let's go.
Well, I was actually going to give you even more time to talk about baseball, because what I wanted to do before I move on to the next segment is, I know Coach Dante's in Houston. And he mentioned something that I was going to actually throw at you, sir. So yes, the Astros have done something unprecedented in the American League. No team has gone to 7 straight American League Championship Series, and there's only one team that has gone to consecutive Championship Series longer, and that would be the Atlanta Braves, who did that trick from 1991 to 1999.
They had the strike, so that's why it spans that time frame.
Right. Because unfortunately, in 1994, there was no baseball in October. How does the city feel, and how do you feel about the Astros almost basically advancing normally to where they always do every year?
Oh, I feel good, man. Like I say, we know this team went through some struggles in the season. Everybody was concerned about the Houston Astros, but y'all think about we never start well the beginning of the regular. We actually never starts well. We always start off 500 or either below 500. We always start off hitting not hitting well, but we always start out pitching well. That's one thing I think that. Then we had injuries. Jose Altuve was out. He had his wrist broken, in the World Cup game.
Yeah. Before the season began, right?
You have to deal with a stretch where Yordan Alvarez was out. You have to deal with that stretch. Then they come back. We get hot again. We turn the pace to May and June. That's when the Astros normally get hot. They get hot at that point. Then the Toronto series, you got Altuve. Yordan goes out again for another stretch. But in the All-Star break, Astros get a little momentum. And to be 14 games over 500 with your 2 best players out, and that's pretty solid right there. Then you look at the trade deadline. It was clear we needed another pitcher because you had Urquidy and Garcia went out early, and the Giants out for the season, so you had a pitching problem right there. You go back, you get one of the best leaders in the game of baseball, Justin Verlander. Immediately, you have Brahma Valdez has a no hitter soon he comes back. So other than that, man, like I say, we go through a stretch when we lose against the Oakland A's at home. We lose till we get swept by the Royals.
Royals.
Then you have Maldi sits the team down and have a team meeting with the squad, and we all put it together throughout the whole regular season, throughout the rest of the regular season. It was time we didn't even have a shot to win the division. But other than that, these Astros, they step up time and time again when you need them to step up. They have a big series against going into the desert. Well, of course, you can say the D-backs had a playoff spot wrapped up already. They already was in the playoffs, so they didn't have nothing to play for. But the Astros went in there, they did their job. The Rangers lose the last game in Seattle, and the Astros end up taking the division. So when I want to go to in this series, again, I didn't see the Astros step up time and time again when they will need to. The one thing the Astros have the advantage, if you can jump on the Rangers pitching early, the bullpen early, the Astros will have a field day in the series. But one thing you can count on, the Rangers bats will keep you in any type of game. They will keep you. I mean,
my gosh,
they know how to pour it on, man. You got guys like Nathaniel Lowe, man, Josh Young, guys. 20 home runs. You got 20 home runs in the lineup. Corey Seager, who's arguably could have been the MVP this season, man, who's hitting over 330, 20 plus home runs. Adolis Garcia, yes, he's up in the top league in strikeouts, but when he gets to a ball, he
crushes it.
He just crushes it. So these Rangers bats are dangerous, but if I trust any team that's been a part of this before, that knows how to pitch, that knows how to neutralize a great hitters, it's the Houston Astros. Look at Aaron Judge. When it comes to the playoffs, the Astros they know how to pitch to him. That's just how they work. So if the key for the Astros, timely hitting, and you have to find a way to calm down these Rangers bats and get to that bullpen early. It's going to be all about early run support for the Astros. Like the last time we played them, like you mentioned, the Astros jumped on them early, and the games seems to be over. And you got to put multiple innings where you can get multiple runs on. This is a team you got to pull it on. You got to get put runs on the board against the Rangers. They normally stack up with home runs. Rangers are a good home run hitting team, but they're good overall. So that's one thing they better than the Astros. But the Astros pitching is going to mean a lot in this series, and they got to get to that bullpen early. If they get to that bullpen early, it could be a long series for the Rangers.
Yeah, I couldn't actually say that better, and I 100% agree with you. I think that's the key. I think the Astros bats had to get to that pitching staff early, get to the bullpen early, and then the arms will take over and just simply deflate the Rangers bats. That's to me, that's the biggest of keys. And if the Rangers can avoid that, we're gonna be in for a dogfight. Now I will switch it to the NLDS that is now remaining. The National League Division Series that is remaining. So you're buoyed by the fact that Philly fan acted Philly fan, and you know how they are since you were donning Eagles paraphernalia. How do you think the Braves can turn around the fact that they seem to be flummoxed by what the Phillies are throwing at them?
The backs got to wake up. You've got to score runs. The pitching has got to be better, but you don't poke the bear in Bryce Harper, right?
No.
So that's a mistake. That's a mistake that we made for game 3,
no,
right?
You don't do that.
Poked the bear and he ate us. Literally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they poked the bear after the game doing our tomahawk chop. So now they're going to feel the same thing in game 4. One thing about the Atlanta Braves, we can all agree on is they have pride, right? The manager's flummoxed because he doesn't understand why the bats aren't showing up. The guys are flummoxed. But now you mocked us, right? And I think fans have to understand that if you're doing this after game 3, this is a 3-0 sweep, I ain't mad at you, whatever,
Right.
But it's just why the series is still going on. We had the audacity. I'm going to steal something from the Negro Knight himself, the unmitigated gall. Gonna throw a little Mick Foley in there, testicular fortitude. To think he's gonna come out, do our chop, and mock the team, and then they're gonna turn around and you're not gonna feel it game 4. The bats have got to wake up. The fielding has to be what it has been. We understand what the Philadelphia Phillies are attempting to do. What the Philadelphia Phillies want to do is they want to throw different pitchers at you. They want to not let you get in a rhythm against one pitcher. So guess what? That's fine. You got to jump up, attack the ball. Hey, if they get ahead in the strike count, doesn't matter. Everybody's mindset should be, I'm going to pound this ball. If you strike out, you strike out. But let's either strike out or let's put the ball in play. Let's not stand there and watch strikeouts happen, right? Foul it off, worst case. You've got to attack them mentally. You got to come out in this game and say, I don't care who you're putting out there. I don't care if you bring in Randy Johnson from the 90s. You know, I don't care if you bring Kurt Schilling, whoever you bring in. That ball's going out of this park. And that's what's got to happen. The mind state has to change. I see them looking a little too tentative, overthinking because they're seeing different guys. Who cares? You blasted different guys all season. You set a record for amount of home runs, amount of guys with over 25 home runs in the season. So where are you at now? You're too stuck up here. Don't worry about it up here. Play the game that you've been playing since you were a kid and go out there and show them that when you do the tomahawk chop, now you got to come back to Atlanta and we're going to chop on you after game 5 if we get those bats working.
And if that's the case, game 5 would be Saturday. So, the Braves are a team with pride. I mean, we saw that in game 2, starting in the 7th innings, bottom of the 7th inning. So I don't count them out. Although they're, and I've told you this privately, cool. Although I have seen people who already did after game 1. I'm like, it's first team to 3. I don't see 3 on that Phillies number yet. Until I see it, then I'm like, all right, they're the better team. Until then, Braves are the best team in the regular season for a reason. So I'm not going to count them out yet. Then you getting love from the chat. Cool Breeze says Wise, and hey coach from Wise as well. Victor Lock VLock83 says, let's go. It's the cooler coach hour. Cool Breeze McCain and Coach Dante. Or as Ray Ray said yesterday, the Tia and Tamara.
Hey, I want to say I'm glad to see Ray Ray back. And people can feel how they want about Ray Ray, but one thing Ray Ray says is true, and that's his nickname for Snowman.
And for those who don't know, the nickname Ray Ray has for Snowman is Snowman Bron Lover. He belongs in the Halo Hall of Fame trash.
Yeah. Snowman Bron Lover is accurate. You don't hate on somebody that much unless you secretly love them. And Cole, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and cue it up for me, and I'm just going to say, what's going on?
Was waiting for you to do that.
Yes, sir.
I was waiting for you to do that. All right, switching gears. From the do we have to department? Yes, there will be a game tonight that isn't baseball. Yes, the Broncos and the Chiefs will be playing Thursday night football, and of course, it's rumored that Taylor Swift is going to be there. But I'll ask this question to the both of you, starting with Cool. With the dumpster fire that the Broncos are, and they have lost to the Broncos have had a serious case of bad luck against the Chiefs, like the Jets have against the Patriots, because they too have been beaten by the Chiefs 15 straight times. What can the Broncos do? And this is games in Arrowhead. What can the Broncos do to actually stand a chance of beating the Chiefs tonight?
They've got to get turnovers. They've got to hope that Travis Kelce can't really play. He's going to get out there and try that his ankle's not going to hold up. They got to hope that Patrick Mahomes is sick by game time. They got to hope that all the receivers forget how to catch. And they've got to hope that Kansas City's defense is looking forward to next week. But running game will be important for them. All jokes aside, running game will be important. They're going to need to run the ball. They're going to have to pressure. They're going to have to they're going to put hands on those receivers in Kelce. Kelce, you know Kelce's the guy. If you're the Jets, that's your double team. I know you say double team a tight end when he's the only true number one receiver on the team.
You got to roll double. Yeah, you got to roll double in his direction. Yeah, no question about that. You're right.
All game behind and front. He's man. Everybody else, if you want to play zone, you want to play man, whatever you want to do. But you've got to make sure that you make Mahomes say, I got to go somewhere else because they're going to let me go to Kelce. That's what you got to do. You got to take Kelce out of the game. You got to turn them into a running team, or relying on guys like Kadarius Toney, who may catch the ball, may drop it, may bounce off his shoulder pad. You got to make those guys the guys to try to beat you in this game. You have to run the ball. Zach Wilson has to be turnover free. And the good news is they are playing. Oh, I said Zach Wilson. Excuse me. Russell Wilson has got to be mistake free. Wrong Wilson. Russell Wilson's got to be mistake free. And he needs Sierra in the stands cheering him on. And I don't know, man. It's gonna take a lot, honestly, for the Broncos to have an opportunity to win this game. They're having a fire sale, right? Justin Simmons, they put on the block. Frank Clark on the block.
Yeah.
Howie, Justin Simmons, Howie. But they just have to go out and just use the fact that they're the underdog. No one's expecting them to win. They got to punch him in the face early. They got to run the ball, and they have to do everything. They have to play perfect football to have an opportunity to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Lord have mercy, as if we need to have the Eagles pick up somebody else defensively that's stalwartly in the stud. Your thoughts, Coach Dante?
Well, they gotta hope. They gotta hope the whole damn team don't show up from the Kansas City Chiefs. That's gonna be an Arrowhead. They just gotta hope the whole team show up. They just gotta hope Andy Reid not on the sideline. They just gotta hope Patrick Mahomes have some type of sickness that we don't know about. They gotta hope Travis Kelce can't walk on his ankle tonight. They just need the whole miracle, because basically to beat them the way they're playing right now, you gotta play perfect football. You gotta play turnover free. You gotta try to not have no damn penalties. You gotta cover goddamn body for one time. I thought this defense was supposed to be better than that. I guess it's not. I guess it's a huge difference from the dude that went to Carolina to Vance Joseph, who can't seem to get the damn job done. I guess it's okay to talk noise about a certain coach, and you got beat by the coach last week, and Nathaniel Hackett got out coached by him and out play call by him. So I guess it's okay to do that. So it's about to come the time and the place right now that everything needs to be up for the Broncos. Every good player that has value needs to be on the trade block. I mean, even Pat Surtain, I'll put him on the trade block. I just do right by him. And he's young, but I'll just go ahead and do right by him. That dude could be a lockdown corner in the NFL. And you just may be wasting this talent. You just may be wasting this talent at this point. And Justin Simmons, one of the best cornerbacks, one of the best safeties in the game. You just got to unload everybody. I mean, it's just not working. It's just not working out. That's just all it is, just not working out. They had opportunities. Remember a couple of years ago, everybody said, hey, Denver one quarterback away. They got the defense. They got the weapons, but the weapons could never stay on the field. The weapons, Cortland Sunday could never stay on the field. That's the only really thing. They don't have they don't have running backs that's really that good. So other than that, you just got to hope the whole damn Chiefs team don't show up. You got to hope Kadarius Toney has one of those games like he had against the Lions. Just got to hope that. That's all.
Not that's all.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. He's got to play good.
I love the intentional flubs there. But come on, cool. Doggone it. You have half of the defensive stars in the NFL on your squad already. Jeez.
What do you mean?
You got two man children manning the hole in the defensive front. All right, so maybe you might need a quarterback. You might need a nickel back. But come on, man, really?
What?
Hey, cool. Blankenship.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you.
Enough. Cool. Blankenship not good enough.
Oh, Blankenship straight. You know what I'm saying? But somebody got to play beside Blankenship.
Yeah. I'm about to say. He already has the pieces. He just wants more, which I don't blame you. I understand.
He wants something better. Hey.
Yeah.
Talking about Justin Simmons.
Yo, don't blame him for wanting something better, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. I was confused.
All right. Well, we'll step aside for the cause when we come back. I know you're going to be shocked when I say what we're about to talk about. We're going to be talking about the WNBA. Yes, the finals are taking place right now. We will talk about that on the other side. You're watching and you're listening to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We'll be back with the Cool and the Coach right after this.
Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything. Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Running along here on Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. This is a Thursday, hour number 2. So that means the Cool and Coach Hour is underway. And yes, we are about to actually talk about a subject that you would think men would not talk about, the WNBA. I know you're saying...
Stop the cap.
But yes, we are. So we are in the WNBA Finals. Game 2 of last night took place in Las Vegas. The Aces performed so well, it actually left a verbose Becky Hammon speechless. 104-76 was the final score. The Aces jumped out to a 38-19 lead going into the second quarter. The Liberty put some pressure on them in the second, but the second half, it was all Aces. All Aces. All right, so the Aces are up 2-0. Game 3 will be in New York, and it will be Sunday. Tip-off is at 3 p.m. Eastern. Coach, I'll start with you. What is your impression thus far with the WNBA Finals?
My impression, none of them is with the New York Liberty. I'm going to say this. Hello, can Ionescu show up? Goddamn basketball game for once. I mean, well in the regular season, but you got 17 points within 2 games. Ionescu, much as you shoot, can you show up? Can the MVP show up having 14 points, 6 of 17 from the field from last night? You're the MVP of the league. You the one, you got the MVP over Asia Wilson. Now, Asia Wilson looked like a raging bull out there. And sorry she had to do that against my Dallas Wings, but she looked pissed off and she playing pissed off. She's playing better, way better than Breanna Stewart's playing. I need Benijah Laney for the Liberty not to go 4 for 15 when you were one of the best 3-point shooters all year. I need someone from the Liberty to show up. I need Sidney Bondello to make some damn adjustments out there, because it looks like by far the Las Vegas Aces is clearly the better basketball team. When you got guys like Asia Wilson, 26 points, that's the MVP right now because she's playing at the MVP level. Kelce Plum giving you 23. Jackie Young giving you 24. That's way more contribution than your top stars from the New York Liberty giving you. And New York Liberty, they just that right now. They just happy to be in the goddamn NBA Finals. But now one of them damn show not playing and ready to play every single game they play. The second half has been the difference of this series. The second half, the first half is close. They were literally down. They were literally down 19-2 early in this game. They were literally down that much, and they come back. They cut it within 3, but then the Aces pull off and make more of the adjustments in the second. Make more of the adjustments half. I just want to know, where's the MVP of the league at? I just want to know, where's Ionescu at? You know, the Ionescu that set a WNBA record out of men and women's in the 3-point shooting contest. Where is she at right now? She's nowhere to be found. She's in the lost and found right now. She's nowhere to be found. She's totally checked out of the hotel at this point. So it looks like, the Liberty look like they ready to go home. They look like they just ready to be in the WNBA Finals. They just wanted to be in the WNBA Finals. The Aces look like they're going to be a dynasty. This is a team that's going to got the 6th woman in the league. This is a team that got the goddamn, I don't give a damn, MVP of the league. And Asia Wilson at this point, because she's playing like it. She's playing like this is a team that got the point guard in Chelsea Gray, who had 11 assists. Last night. But this is a team who wants it. This is a team who's got depth on their team. And this is a team that looks like they out for blood. That's just what it is. And proving that they're the best team in the league. I just want to know, where the damn Liberty players at? Because they damn sure not there. They damn sure not playing. And they damn sure not showing up at all.
Yeah, to your point, they shot 36% from the field. And yes, Sabrina Ionescu, the 17.6 rebound, 5 assist form. Yeah, it has not shown up in this series thus far. Yeah, I agree with you. And yes, if you're gonna have three women give you 20+ points, yeah, and yeah, it's gonna be tough sledding. Your thoughts on this series thus far, Cool?
I'm gonna start by answering one of the coach's questions. Sabrina Ionescu is seeing something she hasn't seen a lot of this year, and that's defense in her
defense.
Yeah. When she was open last night, she made the shot. She just ain't open much. They saying you're not gonna do that to us, And then keep in mind, the real CP3 is not even playing. She's coaching for the sidelines, and the game is over when the real MVP, who was not a 3-point shooter, is stroking left-hand threes. When she made that 3, you can turn your TV off. That game's over. When Asia Wilson is making 3s, you are in deep, deep trouble. But, I mean, we said all year the Aces were the best team. The Liberty were one of those teams on the next tier that if everything fell their way, they'd have a chance. But the Aces are, point blank period, the best team in the WNBA. It's going to show in the playoffs. It's going to show in the finals. It doesn't matter who you put them up against. Regular season, they can be beat because regular season are not as locked in.
Yeah.
Right.
There's blood in the water right now. The blood is the Liberty, and the Aces are sharks. And they're tearing the Liberty to pieces, and they're going to finish it on the next game. I mean, I'm sorry, but the Liberty are not going to get a game in the series. The Liberty are going to get swept. Kudos to them for making it. But playoff Aces, it's just on another level, and no one else can move up that much of a gear. And until someone else can put together a collection of talent that can do so, the Aces are going to be a scary team for years to come. You know who the Liberty look like? Liberty look like my dream against the Wings. That's what the Liberty look like right now.
Then you want to know something cool? When I've been preaching, when we both been preaching about, the Aces had a storm throughout this whole playoffs. They dominated throughout this whole playoffs. When you look at it, with the Liberty side, they had a tough time. I mean, they had a tough time with a Mystics team that was actually that's actually better than what they are if they were healthy. They were missing Shakira Austin. They would have to go through a trend when Ariel Atkins was out. Natasha Cloud was the only one playing throughout the whole regular season. They struggled and it took them a game. It took them all the way to get that. Then you went. I had a dark horse. I thought Connecticut would have been a dark horse, which is I thought they was, but Brianna Jones' injury played a part in that playoff series. I think when she went hurt, when she went down against the Seattle Storm and that Achilles, because she was one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. I mean, you couldn't keep her off the board. I thought that's what Connecticut was missing, and they still down there they still went the distance. So you saw some vulnerability of the New York Liberty all season, where you had the Aces, they were coasting. They lost 6 games, but they were coasting through those. They were coasting through those 6. They were coasting through those 6 losses. Now you're seeing the real Aces in the playoffs just destroying teams left or right, and you're seeing the New York Liberty just struggle, and it's taking them games the finish. And you seeing people just see the Connecticut, and you're seeing the Mystics, who came in the playoffs under 500 due to injury, and take them to the distance. So you're seeing a lot of that vulnerability in the New York Liberty stretches when they weren't coming out and playing well. I mean, Natasha Cloud threw them apart. It took a miracle for them to win that series with Natasha Cloud was tearing them apart. They could have easily lost that series, but other than that, it just shows you, I mean, how much Sharks, like you said, that in killer instinct that the Aces got. They're way up here. And the Liberty are just below their damn level. That's not, they're not even close to the Las Vegas Aces now. And I think it's time on their floor. They gotta just bring out the broom. I just don't really think they're close. Most of their losses and pretty much most of their wins and losses, the Aces coasted. They know they're the damn better team in the league. They know they're the best team in the league. That's just no offense, but why you still got problems on the New York Liberty? You still got problems to solve on New York.
Yeah, the only people they're battling is their own selves, right? That's the only people they've been battling all year. I mean, I've seen games where they played like the Dream, the Wings, and different teams, and they really played hard one quarter and still blew them out. So when you can do that to teams, and I'm not saying, or like the Storm and teams, I'm not saying that we've all played the best all year, right? But I'm saying when you can do that to other professional women's teams, play series one quarter, and then coast for 3 quarters and still have a blowout, what's going to happen when you really turn it on? That's what we're seeing.
And
I'm actually don't even know what to do. Becky Hammon is just like
carrying a boxing match. It's just like you can knock the goddamn person out anytime you goddamn want. You just carrying the boxing match. That's just how the Aces handle you. That's just how the Aces work. It's just like carrying a whole game. You carry the game for 3 quarters. For two and a half, the first 2 quarters, and then you go ahead and put the knockout punch on. You go ahead and finish them off in the second half. That's just the way this game that they did all year, and the way they did in the finals. The first two games in the first half, the Aces, the game was close. Then at halftime, here goes the knockout punch. Here goes the TKO. Here goes the adjustments that Becky Hammon made. While you just got the New York Liberty over there just clueless and don't know what the hell they actually doing. It. Cindy Bundella don't have no answer for anything that goes on.
Nothing.
And I'm actually glad you're venturing over into this lane because, of course, the Aces are the defending champs, and it looks like they're going to successfully repeat with no problems or issues. Now, you mentioned the Sun, and of course, you can mention the Liberty too. How long do you see this dynasty rolling? Because I think it's going to be one. Because as you have mentioned, Cool, and actually as you mentioned too, Coach Dante, the Aces don't even have to play their best and still rout teams. So how long do you see this dynasty last? And what team do you think can be the biggest roadblock for them to actually stop the dynasty run? I will start with you, Cool.
So it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a collection of young but experienced talent. You're going to need to have a coach who right now is prepared to win. Because the thing is, I believe that the Dream are a team to watch in the next 4 or 5 years, maybe 3-4 years. But right now, the coach needs to improve because she got in the playoffs. That's a different animal. So you've got to have a coach that has experience, There's I believe Teresa Witherspoon's been coaching in the NBA as an assistant,
right?
Kind of doing that sound route that Becky Hammon did.
Same route.
Her to get over and her to get a team like the Liberty or the Sun, or somebody that's almost right there on the cusp, and then get a really good draft pick. The best thing about the WNBA is you can trade, right? You can make trades to get draft picks. So if you can get somebody that can trade up or maybe ends up with the trade rights to like one of the teams that have the first 1 or 2 picks, and you can get a young stud to pair with a really strong team already, then that's the team who maybe a year or two down the road can contend. But you have to have it all. You have to have defense. You have to have scoring. You have to have that person that can be a point guard. All that has to be there, right? You got to have all that if you're going to compete with this Aces team. This Aces team is like the Monstars, and the rest of the league is like Looney Tunes with no secret sauce or Michael Jordan. That's the truth.
Oh Lord, the point guard. Oh my!
Yes. You got to have a point guard if you want to compete.
I agree. The way basketball is, it could be the men's sport too. That seemingly is how it's rolling. If you have a point guard, you pretty much are rolling. But if you don't, yeah, tough sledding. Your thoughts on the Aces possibly being a dynasty in the making, and the team or teams that could stop them, Coach Dante?
Well, it's going to happen for a long time, I can tell you that much, because Becky Hammon is going to do whatever it takes to keep that damn team together. I don't think that team is going nowhere anytime soon, but I can tell you at least 2 teams that I think that can possibly overcome them. And they're pretty young teams. They got a good mixture of veterans and good young players. I think, of course, you gotta put in New York for the next couple of years or next year or two. But you're gonna start seeing that dynasty die down a little bit once the Aces keep getting a hold of them. I think the Aces can do nothing but get stronger, and they're gonna keep the same team next year and still do the same thing. But like I say, I'm how the Atlanta Dream and the Dallas Wings. I think they both of those teams are up and coming. But you need coaching, man. You need coaching and great defense, man. You're not gonna beat the Aces if you can't slow the game down. You're not gonna and realize the Dallas Wings gave the Aces their best game, their toughest game so far. That was in game 3, where we shot the ball pretty poorly. Both teams shot the ball pretty poorly in that game, and the Aces still found a way to win that game. That just shows you how good they are, and they just fight through the adversity. But when you got girls like Arcia who can go one-on-one and beat anybody off the dribble, and like Ryan Howard, who's going to be a superstar in the WNBA. If not, she's already is, because that was the only person that can score in the Dallas Wings series pretty much. Outside of her and Shia Parker, that was the only girls that can really score in that series.
Don't forget the Gold Mamba.
Yeah, the Gold Mamba. If she had a better squad, she would have won the MVP. She had a better that squad was way better than what it was. She would have won the MVP. There's no way your squad that bad and one person just keep you in the ball game consistently. No way your squad should be that bad. But everybody left her. So other than that, she seems to be happy to be the only scorer. But she's literally the only scorer in that team, and you still cannot contain her. But I believe the Wings and Atlanta Dream are the best 2 teams. Young teams get up and come to really stop that whole dynasty. It's going to be hard because Asia Wilson not going nowhere anytime soon. The point guard not going anywhere no time soon. But you need a combination of young players, veteran players. Diamond Shields didn't play all year. Lou Lopez Shaw did not play all year for us. So we got depth at that guard play. I just think we need a little shaking up at the big man position, because we could not run with the Las Vegas Aces. We could not. They ran us out of the gym. Tiara McCowan has attitude problems. We got to find a way to adjust that. I'm not a big fan of Veronica Burton. She's very good on defense, but in the playoffs, it's going to be times when you're wide open. You're going to have to score and shoot the damn ball, and she's not effective doing that at all. But one thing I can count on, we got very good depth at the guard play. And also, we got Stephanie Sorens coming back this coming year who didn't play again. So we had 3 possible players that did not play all year this year, and we still did what we did. And Atlanta Dream, they just been anchored by injury. They just been anchored by injury pretty much. And so, like I say, I like those 2 young teams, man. I got a lot of respect for Atlanta. I think Tanisha Wright did a great job of getting that team to the playoffs. And Ryan Howard, you got the superstar right there. And you got Cheyenne Parker who can fill it up. Just need to put some veterans around those girls.
Yeah, Alicia Gray.
Alicia Gray, one of the best 3-and-D players. I miss her being on the Dallas Wings. But other than that, I think those are the two up-and-coming teams. If they fix everything right, get some veteran leadership in there, I think they can do it. I think they can come closer. I think they can score with anybody in the league. I think they can compete with anybody in the league. Barring no injuries, I think they can compete with anybody in the league.
Yeah, this is great talk. We'll leave it there. I see the Aces basically ruling for a good while, and probably you will have some teams that will rise up and people will try to say stack the deck, but no, I would say stockpile basically their squads so that they can rise their level of play to meet that of the Aces because they are crushing the league as we speak. One more break, and when we come back, we will touch on something that is bothering me from the standpoint of perspective. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We are in the middle of the Cool and Coach Hour. We'll be right back right after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason Whitlock.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
And we're at the home stretch of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am Cole Johnson. I'm joined by Coach Dante and Cool McCain. And we're inside the Cool and the Coach Hour. VLOCK83, he says to you, Cool, the Eagles Elite podcast last night was awesome.
I appreciate that, Vicola. I'm not going to do the long version.
Oh, Lord. Oh my gosh.
Never gets old.
Oh my. Yeah, it never gets old. And seemingly what also never gets old is the criticism people are levying toward the Colorado football program. Of course, I think you all were aware Colorado played at Arizona State last Saturday. They won 27-24. And at the end of that game, the quarterback of the team, Deion Sanders, decided to flex. And not necessarily flex in terms of pulling muscles, but he decided to flex a $70,000 steel wristwatch to the student section of Arizona State. Now, there were some people who were finding this to be a bit on the arrogant side, a little bit on the classless side. But I personally think that if you're going to have a student body that's going to talk ill, throw obscenities, and do whatever to try to get a player off his game, and he doesn't use profanity to basically say scoreboard in return, no matter what he does, I think people need to shut up and just let the flexing happen, because he earned the right to flex however he wants to flex. Your thoughts, starting with you, Coach Dante.
Well, people are always looking in the news every day to see what they can talk about Deion Sanders each and every game. That's what people are going to say, whether if it's a loss or a win or one of his players flex or do anything. So we're going to talk crap upon Colorado and want them to lose and not want them to be successful. Then you ought to be big enough when they win a game to take a flex and know something is coming at you. And like I say, Arizona State is a bad football team, so they deserve every bit of the flex that they got. Because they're a bad football team. They're an abomination of a football team. Even when Herm Edwards was there, they wasn't really as a good football team anyway. So yeah, and then don't give up a touchdown down the stretch either. Don't give up a touchdown down the stretch either. And what I like, what Deion Sanders, he's handling everything very well. But also on the field also, if guys ain't gonna go out there and play hard, he's gonna pull you out. Ask Kamani McClain. He played great against USC, but what did he come out and do against Arizona? Play like shit for a half. And guess what, sir? You're coming out. You're not ready yet. You're not showing up in film study. You're not doing your job in the classroom. Hey, you're gonna sit on this sideline next to me. So I like the way Deion Sanders is having everything. So if you're big enough to talk noise in the student session and chop up on people, yeah, you're big enough to take that L and take that flex along with it.
I actually cannot agree more. Look, my thinking is, if you're big enough to talk the trash, you're big enough to receive the trash, because it means, well, okay, well, my trash talking didn't work. My opponents did. They can flex however they want. They can talk whatever mess they want. They earned it. All I can say is, yeah, you're right. Scoreboard. Cool. Your thoughts on, how can I put this? Haters on the fact that you're having these young men show that they are basically saying scoreboard to a student body that wanted to talk much trash to the Colorado players.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is, if you don't have haters, then you ain't doing something right? So clearly Colorado doing something right because they got haters. Let's be honest. If any player on Colorado whose last name is not Sanders or Hunter does that, no one cares, right? Mm-hmm. Because we identify Coach Prime most closely with Shedeur, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter.
Right.
So anything that those three young men do
mm-hmm.
is going to make the news. You know what I like about all this is that Coach Prime and Dad Deion approves and says, hey, Shedeur flash the watches, I like it, but we need to get him an NIL deal for it, get some free watches, and get some coins for flashing the watch. So don't be surprised when you see Shedeur up there with a Timex on, or a Rolex or something,
mm-hmm.
Or a G-Shock, whatever. Because he gonna get an NIL deal, and he gonna be flexing a certain type of watch. You just watch. You know what I'm saying? Because his dad knows how to market. He's the king of marketing.
Yeah,
this goes back to the fact he's hated. Colorado's not hated.
Yeah,
Deion is. Coach Prime is hated, and by association, Colorado is hated.
Colorado is.
If Deion were to leave and go to NC State would be the most hated school. If he were to leave and go to UNC Charlotte, they'd be the most hated school. If he were to go to University of Texas, if he were to go to UT Texas Corpus Christi, it doesn't matter. Wherever Deion Sanders goes, that team is automatically nuclear heat. He's the Dominique Mysterio of college football.
Oh, you put some wrestling reference in here. Oh,
yes, I did. Yes, I did. Right.
Oh,
at the
gosh.
end of the day, man, it's a great thing. It's trash talk, but it's respectful trash talk. I'm flexing my wrist. I'm not saying nothing to you. I'm saying, I go to scoreboard. Look what I got. You don't like it? Oh well. You talk trash, your team can't back it up. It's not a problem when other people do things, but it's only a problem with players that play for Colorado. Coach Brown do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I woke up this morning to listen to an old Ric Flair promo where he was basically bashing Bam Bam Bigelow for coming into NWA, and literally his words to him in the promo were, literally were, quote, is that you are a fatso, and if you don't like what I am saying to you, to do something about it, come here and shut my mouth. Close quote. I cannot in any way, shape, or form find another way better to state to me how others on the Colorado team and program should be to these haters. They should just say, look, if you don't like something about it, have the team shut us up. Please. Well, no, we've had two teams that did, but you know what? Hey, we took those butt whoopings. We learned from them, and now we're progressing. But your team failed. So now what? Heck, one fandom said, you know what? Yeah, Deion Sanders lost more toes than the Colorado team last year won games. Guess what we did to that team? L, buddy. What can you say? I'm sorry. Look, it's a trip to me how people are wanting to get on Prime this bad. And I'm like, all he's doing is just trying to motivate his program. Not unlike Lane Kiffin with Mississippi, or Nick Saban in Alabama, or Dabo Swinney of Clemson, or pick any, or heck, Lincoln Riley of USC, or pick any college head coach. Definitely Dan Lanning of Oregon, because we saw him. That's all he's doing. So the fact that he's doing it in a different way, it shouldn't cause the nuclear heat. But I'm actually liking the fact that to a certain room, Deion could raise the mic at his mouth, and everybody's booing so loud that they really don't care what he is saying, because it could fly over them. But I'll be willing to bet they'll be checking for him starting next year, when that program has so many good recruits that they want to basically beat down the doors in Boulder to be on his team. And then 2 years from now, we were talking about them as a national championship contender and be like, well, how did Deion do it? Well, you ignored it because you wanted to scream and boo at him because you didn't like how he did it. Now he has to build a national championship contender in Boulder, and you didn't want to hear it. Now you want to appreciate it. Well, bump y'all. All right, so you have Colorado. They now are 4 up and 2 down. They only need 2 more wins to have a bowl game, to be bowl game eligible. How many wins do you think that Colorado will have this year? Cool, I'll start with you.
So I said before the season, I thought that they would have 6 to 7 wins. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to be in that range. They can get to 8. Yeah, it all depends. I feel like there still could be a trap game somewhere left on the schedule for them, just because, you're feeling yourself, and the kids, right? Not the coaching staff, but the kids. You're feeling yourself. You would start winning a couple of games again. You kind of trip up one of these weeks. But I feel like they should win a minimum of 8 games. And keep in mind, just to throw the stat out there real quick, I'm not big on stats, but sometimes they illustrate the point. The last 2 years, Colorado won 5 games total. So, Coach Prime wins Saturday. He's won as many games. Excuse me, they play tonight, don't they?
They play Friday.
Tomorrow night. They play tomorrow night.
That's Friday today. So if they win that game Friday, he's won in one season as many games as that team won all of last year and the year before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if Colorado is bowl eligible, they're not going to be playing in the Tostitos Liberty United Bowl in Tucson, Tuscaloosa, Wyoming, right? They're going to be in a good bowl game, because that's going to bring ratings.
Mm-hmm. So you mean tell me they're not gonna play in the Sun Bowl?
Nah, it's not gonna go down that way.
I agree with you. I actually agree with the number 2. I think they could top out at 8. I definitely see 6 easily. I think I see them at 7. I think that's where I do too. I see them there. Last word with you, Coach Dante. How many wins do you have Colorado winning this year? And where do you might see them trip up?
I got them going 7-5 this year. They can win
7.
8. Yeah, I think they can win 8. If you win 8, you go 8-4. You damn near can be in the Texas Bowl. If you go 8-4, if you go 8, the Texas Bowl, that's a pretty solid bowl game to be in for your first year in Colorado. So I think they're gonna beat Stanford tomorrow night. I think they'll beat Stanford. Arizona, I think they can beat Arizona. They can beat Arizona. Arizona is a tough team. They took USC to 2 overtimes. That's gonna be tough to play down. But I will take Colorado over Arizona. I think they can win. They can win. The best they can win is 8. I think the best they can win is 8, unless they get UCLA, find a way to get UCLA, which I think that can be a trap game for UCLA right there. You got Washington State, very good, who's got a good quarterback in Cam Ward. And you got Utah, which is Utah's tough to play in. But I think the best is 8, but I got 7-5.
I like that. I see it the same. I think they'll top out at 8. I think 7's the round number, and I actually agree with both of you. I think they might trip up at a game you didn't see them trip up, and they didn't get that out the way because I thought Colorado State would have been that game. Not saying I was rooting against them, but the way they were playing, I was thinking, this might be one of those games where it's like a try game type, and they trip up. So we might see them do that sometime later this year. I agree with you. I agree with you both. It is a pleasure to do this with the both of you every Thursday in the second hour. Cool McCain, Coach Dante, thank you so much, gents. And that will wrap up this edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. For Coach Dante, for Cool McCain, and for the, I won't say vacationing, but for the not present Snowman, I am Cole Johnson, here to say in parting, as we always do, take care, God bless, remember to make your next move your best move, and always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. That is what Coach Dante is doing. That's what Cool is doing. One of the hardest working men I know in content creation. We know you're doing the same thing. The Fanatics Feedback Zone and all of you out there listening and watching, I know you all are doing the same. Until tomorrow, where we will have Mike Debate when we do our picks. Sam Shady, the Shady Sports Network, talk about all things NFL. And Ben Sutter III, the owner, the manipulator, and the operator of the BS3 Network, talk about all things Cowboys, which will mean that we will have 20 minutes of lamenting from him and old 49ers film showing from Snowman.
Only 20 minutes?
Only 20 minutes, right. And we'll, of course, we'll end all the festivities with Into the Boom Shakalaka with Chris Bass. Until we see you tomorrow, have a wonderful rest of your day. And I am Cole Johnson saying, see ya